And welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to a new video. Forgive me, I am literally on the freeway heading to San Diego, California for business, but I thought I would take this time and have a conversation with you all that I think I should have, and I don't know, I think it'll help enlighten or help everyone understand kind of what's going on. If you watched Butter, the Insider's video, his response to Rady Rides video, I think is a couple days ago, and Rady Rides did a video on the Demon 170, and in his own words said he wanted to do a video to debunk the stories, to debunk the rumors of engines blowing and there being an issue with the Demon 170s being capped at a limited to 149 miles an hour. And his, I'm synopsizing of course, but his basic breakdown was that, you know, you just need to change your oil and you'll be fine. And these engines blowing, you know, it's not really happening. And what shocked me is that, you know, when somebody says they're going to debunk something, the only way you can debunk something, and I guess this is not even just an opinion, it's not even subjective. Debunking requires to show up with facts. It requires you show up with evidence and proof. And I live in this world of crazy business and legal stuff and all kinds of things that I deal with on a daily basis, and I can't just say something and then that something be true. I can't say it and then everyone just go, okay, so be it. It would take a lot of political capital to be able to be in a position where whatever I say is determined to be bona fide, expert, truth, and fact. Few, if ever, anybody in the world has ever had that much power, but it is something that is leveraged, which is why they call it political capital in our political system, which you see where they could say something, both parties, that's completely, utterly, ridiculously not true. And people will take it as truth because they said it. And then they run down the street screaming that truth because their idol said it. And that's how people use political capital. Some of you may have this happen at your workplace with your boss, who, because of the position they hold, everything they say is considered to be right. It's as though they are a god speaking from the heavens, and it's not often questioned by everyone. And that's where cynicism comes in. And I'm naturally a cynical person. I'm questioning everything. It's not even being negative, it's just being a realist. I want to deal with in my life what is, not what will be, not what was, but what is. The fact, the truth, the reality of what is taking place at this time. And in Rady Rides video, and to contrast against Butter, the Insider's video, about Rady's video, is you're dealing with two people speaking from positions of, let's just say, political capital, because they're on YouTube and on video, and sometimes we come off like we're trying to be experts. But I'll tell you, what Butter's doing is he's speaking from a position of facts and reality and empirical facts, not even his opinion. It's just, this is what I know, this is what I've heard, this is what I've been told from Dodge, this is the facts. And Rady's Rides is speaking from just his opinion, his belief, and basically his minimal knowledge on the subject. And that's evidenced by him saying things like, you know, nowhere did Dodge ever say, other than in the Leprechaun video, that the car was maxed at limited to 149. He said that. He says it wasn't anywhere. But we all know, and I think I still have the screenshots in my images folder with the article on Dodge Garage where they announced the car having an over 200 mile, I think it's 215 mile an hour top speed. Now, I also agree with Racer X when he says, who the hell cares? Nobody's going to be doing 200 miles an hour. It's just not going to happen. I mean, who the hell's going to go do that? So why are we all bunched up about it? Well, there was one guy on YouTube called Demon 170, his channel, who lost his ever-loving mind and did a video and was just, he was having a field day with talking about how Dodge led everybody wrong, lied, cheated, because he wanted to do the Texas Mile and needed a car that would go past that 200 miles an hour. Yet he's the same guy that's screaming and bashing me and TK on the Demon 170 group, saying that we're killing the values and don't listen to our videos, we don't know what we're talking about. He single-handedly did more to hurt Demon 170 values, leading to the class action lawsuits from Demon 170 owners, than I've ever done. And, look, he needs to own that. But he doesn't, of course, he doesn't want anybody to know that. He doesn't talk about it, doesn't want to remember that. But the bottom line is, his position is that this was highly misleading. He found it. The proof is out there. So when Rady's Right says, I think his name's Joe, says, no, it wasn't anywhere, that's not true. So here's the issue that Butter's sharing, that I'm sharing, is I just want what I bought. I know that sounds crazy, but let's just say at MSRP, if I bought that car and it was advertised to do A, B, and C, I wanted to do A, B, and C. But where things get really, really weird and really screwed up is if you bought that car, the Demon 170, you paid $100,000 or $200,000 more than MSRP, over MSRP, and now it doesn't do the thing that you thought it would do, whether you wanted to use that part of that car or not, you gotta feel slighted. You gotta feel like, all right, because here's where that matters. It matters on resale. It limits the amount of buyer pool that you would be going after later on. So let's say when you decide to sell that car, that there's an enthusiast with a gigantic bank account, sack full of cash and gold bullion, who says, I want a car that'll do 215 miles an hour, and you got to show up and go, well, mine won't. My 2018 will do it. A Red Eye will do it. Superstock will do it. But no, my Demon 170 won't do it. My Scat Pack will get to, 185 or something. But my Demon 170 won't do it. So, sorry, I don't want to take your gold bullion and sell you my car because it won't do the thing you want it to do. So that's an injury. That's a financial injury. That's a wrongdoing in business. Tell somebody it'll do something and then it won't do that thing. So for Rady to say, oh, it's no big deal, nobody's ever going to use it, and I understand that, but if you paid that kind of money, I think you'd be mad. Now, I'm also going to say that I would be willing to bet my, both my new shoes that I'm wearing right now, that he paid MSRP for that car, because he's a very large influencer with the large amount of subscribers. I think the views are decent, but bottom line is he has a big number of subscribers, and as many of us learned, Dodge will make those cars available at MSRP for very large influencers. And that would force us to believe that there might be some pandering going on there. And I get it. I felt that way before. I mean, I had a conversation with Tim Kuniskis back in the day, and I got to tell you, the guy, it's intimidating. You're talking to an idol, right? And he's saying, hey, would you say this? Would you do this or something? It'd be hard for me not to. But I'll tell you one thing about my conversations with Tim, which is one thing I have respect for him on, is Tim, while he did ask me if I would be a little more clear on a couple topics, a couple subjects, he also made it very clear that he did not expect or ask or require or anything that I say or do anything that I don't agree with. He must have said that 27 times on the call, that you say what you believe. If you believe this, then I would really appreciate you putting some more clarity into this. And it was regarding dealer markups and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. The problem now is that folks like Rady and others, they still want to have access to events, to the new cars, to be able to review the new cars, to be able to see the new cars, drive the new cars before anybody else. So if they were to get up and do what I've done and start sharing the facts, the truth, they're not going to have those things anymore. I know this because I don't have those things anymore. Dodge is not going to be calling me anytime soon and offering me, advanced placement in line. I have yet to have been invited to anything. I don't expect they're ever going to send me a Christmas card. I am not going to ever be in a favorable light with Dodge because of my absolute honesty with that brand. And for that reason, there was a decision that had to be made on my behalf to say I'm willing to give up all the perks and benefits of having those connections and being invited to things and being offered things and having the support if something were to go wrong with my Demon 170 at the time, in exchange for absolute brutal honesty and truth, which I have given you. Now, I've been far from perfect, and I've said things that I'm sure are wrong. But the bottom line is, I can promise you, if you come to my channel, and I can tell you, if you go to Butter's channel, if you go to TK's channel, you're going to get the raw truth, and it's probably not going to benefit us. It's probably going to, for sure with me, going to make it hard for me to walk into Dodge dealerships and buy a new car at a deal, because the salesmen and general managers have my picture on the wall as the guy that's cost them tens of thousands of dollars. So I'll wrap up with this, that my channel is a consumer advocacy channel. It turned into that. Certainly I do other things here and there, but it's a consumer advocacy channel. My objective is to save you money, period. Save you money on your next car, to save you time, to save you brain damage, to keep you from getting caught up in the FOMO and overpaying for something and getting burned. And behind the scenes, I'm helping, 5 people a day responding to emails to help people through making better decisions when it comes to these cars. That means I have to be honest or I lose credibility, and now I'm just doing it for myself. If you notice, when was the last time you saw a sponsor on my channel? Do I get emails almost every morning I wake up with new sponsorship offers? And it's crazy stuff. It's food, it's meal prep, it's bicycles, it's workout equipment. Kind of did want to take advantage of that one. But I get the offers. I've done the dash cams in the past, but that's been a long time. And I didn't even push them real hard, and I told you when one screwed up on me, but I just don't do that. And I'm not pushing anybody. The bottom line is, I'm going to tell you the truth. And you know what? If the day ever comes that I'm sick and tired of doing this, or it's not appreciated anymore, then I'll flip the switch on the channel and go back to living my normal life. And I don't, not do this anymore. But I don't think Rady and some others are in that position. They need to stay close to Dodge. And I've seen people call them shills and this and that. Don't do that. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to defend Rady. I'm going to defend Rady. I'm going to defend Racer X for some of you that have been tough on him. Their channels aren't like my channel. I even want Racer X and Rady to understand this too. Their channels are basically, Rady's a car review channel. That's what it is. And Racer X, it's a racing channel, a muscle car channel. It's a car modification channel. It's a great informational channel about what's coming and the details and car comparisons and stuff like that. That is not necessarily a consumer advocacy channel, which forces me to be way more brutal than he could ever be, than he should ever be. And Racer X should not be held to a position of incinerating Dodge or dealerships, because it's not what his channel's about. He would have to completely change it, like I did mine. And Rady, he needs to be able to review cars. That's what he needs to do. What I would tell him is, stay in your lane. You stepped out of your lane and you made up a bunch of crap, and you talked from a position of absolute, just very little knowledge about the car. Talking about gearing is why the car can't do 200 plus miles an hour, when that is absolutely not the case. The car is fully capable of doing it if it wasn't for being limited by the PCM and then the tires that are rated at 149. And I believe, what I understand, and I'm not an expert on this, the drive shaft even. There's things about that car that require them to limit it for safety reasons. With that said, For him just to say that it was never advertised, he's wrong. For him to say that there's not cars blowing up out there, he's wrong. They're blowing up. That's just a fact. They're blowing up. The fact also is that many, many, many cars, if not thousands of cars, are sitting in garages wrapped in bubble wrap, not going anywhere, not moving, with no miles, and a lot for sale still sitting on lots that no one knows what those cars are going to end up being like once they start running, and if they're going to have engine issues as well. And for that reason, I think everyone and anyone who's thinking about buying a Demon 170 should be extremely cautious. Stop, think, and reason with yourself that, do you want to step into that arena and risk that car, that engine blows, and that you have to deal with Dodge saying, no, it's not covered under warranty, and you have a $50,000 problem? I got to tell you, I don't want that freaking albatross. I don't want that weight on my shoulders. Absolutely not. So, and unless you're a big YouTuber and they don't want the heat, I would be concerned if I had one of those cars. And if it wasn't for Butter, myself, and TK, and others willing to scream on behalf of others who have had issues with their cars, then I think that there would be almost no voice out there for them. So this video has gone long, but I thought I would just chime in about this Rady thing and tell him, stay in your lane. You're wrong. They're blowing, and you may have set yourself up for having to experience this by taking this very, very strange direction in defending that car. I love the car. I think it's an amazing feat of engineering, and I think you know, Dodge did great on it, other than the fact that now if you buy one, you've got to be concerned that you're going to hear a strange sound, and that car is going to need to be in the shop for a month getting a $50,000 replacement engine, praying that Dodge actually covers it. So with that said, everybody, hopefully this video makes sense, clarifies a lot, and I thought I would just chime in between Rady and Butter and just share my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.